morning, ladies and gentlemen, American Jerry and Bulldog Nation. As you might expect, no blizzard stops the Bulldog Show from being produced and going forward. I got in just fine, but I have a four-wheel drive truck. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Law and Parks Yoga. And our lead story is the $1.7 trillion abomination. Nothing reflects the catastrophe of Washington, D.C. more than this bill. Why? Because this is just an incredible, pork-filled, just disgusting, just let's bankrupt America a little bit more bill. I mean, these guys are political gangsters. And you got Mitch McConnell and company just going right along with the Democrats. They're all cut from the same ilk. And remember, I'm the only candidate for Republican governor of Kentucky who wants McConnell to go. I mean, I'm on him like green on grass. And you know what? Silence from all the other candidates. Mitch McConnell owns the state Republican Party establishment. He owns it. It's not Rand Paul, it's Mitch McConnell. So it's incredible. By the way, I want to give Oracle status to Senator Rand Paul for his brilliant "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" mocking of the bill. Well done, Senator. Biden's pathetic Christmas message. He can't even say the word Jesus. He claims to be a Roman Catholic, goes to church, he claims. At the same time, you know what I always say about Joe Biden going to Catholic church? So did the Godfather. You know, the mafioso Godfathers went to church too. You know, what does that mean? But he can't say Jesus. I mean, it was the most convoluted, goofy Christmas message. It's a happy holiday Christmas message is what it was. He's just pathetic. And then we had the clown committee, coming out, Trump standing up to it. Good for Donald Trump for standing up to it. You know, it is truly an unabashed clown committee. You know, everything that they say, the way they put the committee together, trying to make it sound so horrible, and it's not going to work. Last but not least, I want to add this. Peter Doocy, they think it's real. I watch Fox News some, and, he asks a question, do you think the border's secure, And I am blown away. To my knowledge, no one, now we're not going to get an answer, but no one has asked the press secretary or Joe Biden this question. I can't believe nobody's asked this question. Isn't it true that what's going on in the border and your failure to do anything, isn't it true you are intentionally allowing this to happen, which means you actually are intentionally allowing human trafficking, drug cartels, terrorists into this country on purpose? Why? Why are you intentionally doing this? I mean, it's not policy. It's intent. It's full-blown intent. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Stay safe and Merry Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry and Bulldog Nation, remember, immediately after this show is the world news. I want everybody to know that I hope you're safe in this Arctic temperatures that we have. It's pretty cold out there. I got a four-wheel drive, so I drove in, although the rural roads are pretty bad. I also want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. We're sponsored by Deters Law and Parks Yoga, and our lead story today is Joe Deters' appointment to the Ohio Supreme Court. Here in northern Kentucky, especially those that are in the law business, we go on the other side of the river all the time. The Durrani litigation's over there. I want to tell you first how this all happened. Maureen O'Connor is aged out by law, so she had to give up her seat at the end of this year. Good thing for us. She's voted against the Durrani victims. Why? Because she's got over $2 million in health care money over the years. So Sharon Kennedy ran for the Chief Justice and won against Bruner. However, Bruner is a Democrat who's already on the court, remains on the court. Sharon Kennedy takes Maureen O'Connor's place, leaving a vacancy on the court. And that vacancy is going to be filled by Mike DeWine, Governor DeWine, by appointing Joe Deters. Joe Deters is the Hamilton County prosecutor. So therefore, the Hamilton County Republican Party is going to get to choose who replaces Joe Deters as the Hamilton County prosecutor to fill out that term, which goes all the way to 2024. So here's what I believe is the politics going on, and I want to make a few comments about Joe's appointment. First and foremost, what I've understood way back when I was friendly with Joe Deters is that Megan Shanahan at one time was considered the heir apparent to that office. Also, the other person that was considered was Greg Hartman. Now, what the scuttlebutt seems to be is it would be Melissa Powers, who's a juvenile judge, and she does a great job. And her term's about ready to expire too. So I think that Melissa Powers will be chosen. One of the things that's good about Melissa Powers is she has the financial ability to run for re-election. She's well liked by everybody. I personally would love to see Melissa Powers as the Hamilton County Attorney. However, I'm going to broaden out the selections. It will probably be Melissa Powers. The other people that I think it could be is Greg Hartman and or Megan Shanahan. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll find out soon enough. Now, Joe Deters' appointment. Joe Deters' appointment is not a shocker at all because we all know how close Joe Deters is to the DeWine family and Mike DeWine. They helped each other in their campaigns. Joe Deters got Dennis Deters, his brother, who lost as the Hamilton County Commissioner, lost as the Court of Appeals judge, a $200,000 job at the Public Utilities Commission. So Joe, knowing that his days are numbered, by the way, he is the only, him and the engineer are the only Republicans elected to the countywide race. So the Democrats are licking their chops to take over the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office. That's why it's very important who the Republicans actually choose. I think Melissa Powers is a good choice. I'd support Melissa Powers. Bottom line, though, is Joe Deters has never served as a judge, but he is Mr. Law and Order. So on that front, it's great he's going on that court. By the way, Joe used to always tell me the frustration he had on the Ohio Supreme Court relative to the death penalty. So those that advocate the death penalty are going to have a real friend with Joe Deters on that court. Now, I got mixed feelings about this, just looking at straight up from a legal standpoint as Joe on the court. First off, Joe's pretty independent. Although he gets elected by being part of the Republican establishment, he's really kind of independent thinking. He's the kind of guy, for example, that in my opinion won't walk lockstep with the Republican Party on plaintiffs, personal injury, medical malpractice type issues. Joe, at one point in time, was in fact on our team in the Durrani litigation. So, there's that. The other thing I'd like to point out about Joe being on the Supreme Court for all you Durrani clients is he will not be able to hear any of our cases because of a conflict, probably not any cases of Deters Law. They'd have to appoint somebody special. But this was my closing point about this appointment. You know what? He's never been a judge before, but who cares? And it just proves how political Supreme Courts are. But I want to go all the way back to the Durrani litigation. We needed somebody with some political oomph to be on our side. So therefore, we engaged Joe Deters to be that person on our team. And for a while, he performed well in that role. However, you cannot make this up. And this is the punchline that I have to say about this appointment. The straw that broke the camel's back with my relationship with Joe Deters was this. I said, Joe, we're dealing with these liens. They're a pain in the ass. Can you get me the name and number of the right person that we can talk to with Ohio State Medicaid that you can talk to? You can talk to DeWine and help us out here because this is ridiculous. Crickets. Crickets. And this was when he was, quote unquote, still on our team. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I said, Joe, I'm done with you, buddy. You can't even do that for these victims? And he would never come to a meeting of all the Durrani victims either. So those of you that wonder how I had a falling out with Joe Deters, that's why. Now, this appointment magnifies how pissed off I was at him, and deserved to be. He's got enough umph with Mike DeWine to get his brother appointed to a Public Utilities Commission, enough umph to get himself appointed to the Ohio Supreme Court. And here he is, supposed to be helping the Durrani victims for me, and he can't even help us with Medicaid state liens. By the way, we weren't asking for anything illegal or improper. Just help us, fast track this process. So that's what I have to say about Joe Deters. Now, on to law and crime. The second of the two missing 5-month-old twins that were abducted Monday night from Columbus have been found safe. Kason Thomas was found in Indianapolis near Papa John. The other twin was found on 19th Street. Unbelievable. Nala Jackson was arrested with the abduction yesterday in Indianapolis. Police were dispatched to College Hill Thursday, where they found one man injured and one man dead of a gunshot wound. 32-year-old James Witherspoon has been identified as the deceased person. Authorities have not identified any potential suspects at this point. Chaliza Woods is accused of breaking into a man's apartment and destroying some of his property. The women cut up the man's clothes and threw them out the window. Woods also brought her 7-year-old daughter to the break-in. The women will face burglary charges and violating a protection order. Police have issued a golden alert for Covington man Edward Wisher, who went missing Wednesday night. Wisher was last seen at Fort Wright Walmart and suffers from dementia and sundowner syndrome. Police were called to check out a Kentucky family's Christmas display on their front lawn. A dispatcher described the scene as a male standing outside naked with a robe covering part of his body. Police arrived, how about this, Josh, and found a mannequin dressed as Cousin Eddie from the 1989 film Christmas Vacation, which my family watched last night. It never gets old, does it? Can't see the lines, can you, Rust? Officials saw no need for further action and just laughed it off and took photos. Larry Thompson will be serving as the next chief judge for the Kentucky Court of Appeals. Thompson was chosen in September by his colleagues on the appellate court. It was announced this week Kentucky has reached a $53 million settlement. The case states Walmart has played a role in furthering the opiate epidemic in Kentucky. In Ohio lawmakers have passed a bill pushing oil and gas drilling in state parks and other state-owned land. State agencies are encouraged to negotiate contracts with oil and gas producers to set up operations where appropriate. And the Bengals, it's gonna be cold. New England this Saturday at 1 p.m. By the way, they're in first place, and they clinched the playoff spot last night with the Jags' victory over the Colts. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.